Okay, this is Lucky's Roadmap to Success video, and I just want to remind the guardians of a couple things that we went over today. And one of the first things that we chatted about was sit. Is the different ways that you can use passive training. So that was a good example where he offered the behavior by just sitting on his own, and then I gave it a command word. So and then I tossed the bone for him. So that way it was all put together. He was still being rewarded, which you can replace a toy with a treat or being petted. So you can use any of that with passive training. So if he lays down, go ahead and say down and then pet him. So that's called passive training, when he gives a behavior all on his own and then you reward him and give him a command word to associate that with. And then over time you'll be able to actually use that intentionally. A fun one is that if you see him drop the toy, just start saying drop when he does it. And over time you'll be able to say drop and he'll drop the toy for you. So those are all great ways to use passive training. And then also remember to use our petting with a purpose technique. So before he's allowed up on the furniture or you go to pet him, ask him to sit first. And soon he'll be doing this, it's called social manding. He'll come over to you and automatically sit to get attention or to ask permission to do something. So he'll walk over to the couch, for example, or the chair, and he'll sit down automatically as his way of saying, please, can I come up here? And then you can give him permission by patting the chair and saying up or whatever you want to use. Another thing that I want to remind you that we discussed about helping him because you want to keep him mentally stimulated and give him the ability to kind of know what you're going to do to anticipate. You can start labeling the different words in the house or different rooms in the house. So if you're going into the kitchen and the family's going to spend a lot of time in there, make sure he has a bed or something soft to lay on, and you can say, okay, let's go to the kitchen, and then walk into the kitchen. He'll soon start to have an increased confidence because he'll be able to run to the kitchen first and be able to know where he's going and know what to do, and you'll see him start to be proud, like, I know what to do, I know where we're heading. So those are different things that you can use. Remember to use the escalating consequences to disagree with unwanted behavior. Remember that starts with a hiss, stand up abruptly, turn and face him, then walking towards him, and then if necessary, a leash timeout. And then with a leash timeout, you're just waiting for him to lay down on his own without giving a command word. I want to remind you to use the structured walk, which is using the martingale with the leash wrap around his belly. And if you don't remember how to set up the martingale collar, or you want to go over the kind of the rules of how to take him for a walk on the structured walk, go to our website, dogonpromise.com, click on Dog Training Tips, go to the search bar, type in structured walk, and you'll see a bunch of different tutorials that David and I have done to show like how to go about that, and they'll show you how to set it up. And remember not to let him mark when you're out for the walk, because that's a way for him to kind of assert his leadership position, and this is an area where you want to be in the leadership position, so he's less likely to lunge at cars and kind of bark at them. At this point, if you just give him a mild correction, remember that's quick, pulling the leash straight up and down when he sees a car, go ahead and do that, and then eventually you can work off of, you can work up to just walking by the car. So if a car is coming, sit. Go ahead and just keep walking by it. If you can do a quick correction and keep walking. Remember, dogs can only focus on one thing at a time. So if you are keeping him moving and keeping him focused on other things, he's less likely to be as responsive to a car or whatever else he might be barking at. So the best thing to do is keep him moving and keep going versus stopping and letting him spend too much time thinking about it. You can look at the video above this one for how to do the structured feeding exercise. Remember using the escalating consequences and setting that invisible boundary in the kitchen. So he looks to the person who's feeding him in a leadership position, and then he'll have a release word to go over and eat his food. Practice the leadership exercise once a day for the next 30 days. As many people in the house that can do this each day is better for him. Remember, it won't transfer automatically, so if one person's doing it a lot and other people aren't, try to encourage the people that aren't doing it as often to be making sure they're making time in the week to do this with him. Over time, it should get down to a couple of minutes or less, and it should be a pretty quick exercise. Then you want to kind of rein back, do this about once a week, and then I still, even after years of doing this, do this once a month with my dogs, just to keep that reinforced. Remember, this is almost like saying I love you to him, because you're taking that leadership position, taking pressure off of him, and helping him relax. So I do it on the first of every month just so I don't forget. It might be a good tip for you guys to make the same schedule once you're done doing this each day and you're just in maintenance phase. And then if he's barking because someone's coming home and he's alerting to their presence, go ahead and just say like, hey, thank you. That's a good way for him to know, like, yes, I did a good job. I barked, I alerted you, but then now we're all done barking. So we're not trying to teach him not to bark, but we're just saying, thank you, that was good. We're all set. That's pretty cute. He's got his little head resting on his toy. Okay, and then last, I want to remind you that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.